What is going on, everyone? Matesh here. Today we are looking at the cameras on the Pixel 6a. So you guys know this phone just recently came out, and of course the one thing I have a little concern about is the camera quality of this phone because it does not have the new cameras that are available on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. The front-facing camera, for example, here is that same 8 megapixel camera that we have on the Pixel 5a. In fact, the rear cameras are also very similar to what we have on the Pixel 5a. So I thought, let's do a little camera test for you guys so you guys can see what this camera is capable of. So right now what you're looking at is, of course, front-facing camera footage. So this is recorded at 1080p because that is the max of what this camera can do, and only at 30 frames per second. For some reason, 60 frames per second not available from the front-facing camera. I don't know how much of a big deal that is to people. I mean, if you're making TikToks on your phone, that kind of matters, but if you're not, it's probably fine. But yeah, this is the kind of video quality you guys can expect. It is a very overcast day, so this is like ideal conditions. But yeah, this is the kind of video quality you can expect from the front-facing camera. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. So this is like the normal default zoom, but you can also go 1.4x if you want to have a little bit closer. I don't know why you want to do that. You want to typically have a wider field of view, but in case you want to, you can zoom in a little bit. So yeah, there you guys go. Alright guys, and now what you're looking at is footage from the rear facing camera. So this is the main camera. Now this camera is capable of doing 4K 30 frames per second, but it's only this camera that's capable of doing it. Right now what you're seeing is 4K 30 because I want to be able to also switch out to the ultra-wide camera and show you guys what that can do. So that's just a little bit of close-up shots. You can see I'm walking at a pretty normal speed. I think the Pixel always has some pretty good stabilization, so you guys can check that out here. Now this main camera is optically stabilized, so that's awesome. Now I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the ultra wide. There you go. It's a 0.6 ultra wide, and it's decently ultra wide. You get a lot more in your field of view versus the 1x, and I think it does smooth. I like the fact that it switches between the two modes very smoothly. So that's something that even the Pixel 6 Pro tends to struggle with sometimes. It's just like doesn't transition very smoothly. Now you can see with the ultra wide, you don't get focus very close up. You have to go pretty far back to get focus on these flowers right here. So that's something just worth noting. If you want good focus, the ultra wide, if you want like close up shots, the ultra wide is not that great. You can see I just switched over to the main camera and that is just a lot better focus. Ultra wide will not focus that closely. So yeah, something to note. So like I said, this is 4K 30 frames per second with the rear facing camera. Again, ideal conditions. It's a pretty overcast day, not too bright, not too dark. So this is the kind of footage you guys can expect on, great days where it's cloudy. Alright guys, so this is the kind of footage you can expect from the Pixel 6a front facing cameras indoors, and I would say pretty poor lighting. It's pretty dark outside. It's not great. I have a overhead light on, but it's not providing actually the best kind of lighting. But yeah, this is the kind of footage you can expect with the front facing camera. Again, 1080p is what you're limited to, but it's what you can expect. Alright, and switching over to the main camera, again, we're shooting at 4K 30 frames per second. This is the kind of indoor footage you can expect. It is obviously much more grained because those dark spots you can see, like if I'm looking at this around here, I'm gonna guess in the post-processing it's gonna be pretty grainy, this footage, but it's what you expect indoors. Like, you're not ever gonna get perfect quality video indoors unless you have really good lighting. So yeah, this is what you guys can expect if you're indoors, but and also the ultra wide is of course going to be worse. So ultra wide cameras typically just worse quality. You can't fix it. I mean, it's just not able to produce as much light as the main camera, so you're always going to have a little bit more grain and all that in footage. Sorry about all this mess. I have just never gotten a chance to clean this office, so yeah. Alright, next up, let's talk about photos from this camera. So I will say that the Pixel 6a takes really good pictures, especially outdoors. It can create some beautifully vibrant pictures. Indoors it's a little bit less so. You will always of course find a little bit more grain, a little bit just flatter pictures out indoors, but outdoors this camera shines, and you don't even have to use portrait mode because it has such good solid depth of field. But yeah, in my opinion, you really cannot find a better camera at this price. Alright, so there you guys have it. That is a quick look at what the cameras on the Pixel 6a are capable of. Let me know what you guys think about this camera down in the comments below. I do wish that this camera got the new fancy modules from the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, but I get why it didn't. I mean, they just cost-wise, it doesn't make any sense, and in the end, you may as well just get a Pixel 6 instead. Like, if that's what you want, if you want the brand new cameras, the Pixel 6 is only $150 more than this phone, which is makes this phone either expensive or this Pixel 6 too cheap. Don't know which one it is right now, but yeah. With that, that's pretty much it for this video. Like this one if you guys liked it. Subscribe if you guys loved it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.